Whatever the occasion, effortless elegance is right this way. Because Hilton brings you new ways to stay courtesy of the Nomad London. And it doesn't stop at award-winning dining in a space draped in velvet and illuminated by vintage chandeliers. No, this day goes beyond with unparalleled personalized service and attentive hospitality. Oh, and did we mention the Nomad London can be booked using your Hilton Honors points at Hilton.com? Hilton, for the stay.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
I am Sean Horror from Dark Flow, and you're listening to Brutally Delicious broadcast.
1, 2, 3, 4. The Brutally Delicious Podcast. The Brutally Delicious Podcast. The Brutally Delicious Podcast. The Brutally Delicious Podcast.
Where are you located in the world?
I am located here in Switzerland, in Lausanne, in the French part of Switzerland.
Oh, nice. Is it still really cold up there?
Well, it's kind of weird. It's in the day it's hot, but in the night it's cold. It's windy. It's rainy. It's it's a really weird June.
Yeah. I'm in Richmond over here in the States, and it's really hot already.
Oh yeah, it's really hot then.
Yeah, really hot, really humid. It's not so nice.
Not so nice. Well, that sucks.
Yeah. Anyway, let's just jump right in. Let's start with for those not familiar with Dark Flow, can you give us the 2-sentence elevator boardroom pitch?
Well, Dark Flow is a band which mixes theater and metal. We mix into the metal hard rock, heavy metal, thrash metal. We do also some symphonic goth metal, and it's just like a big mix-up of styles to go inside the world of theatrical metal that is shock rock. Shock rock is some part of us. I try to say always that we do shock metal because we do it a little bit more stronger than shock rock bands. And
Right.
now you have Ghost doing shock rock, but more popular, really poppy, let's say.
Right.
Like say tennis pop. And I think that we do very stronger than them. So it's like, we do metal.
Perfect. So if we jump right in then, Dark Flow's concept album pits the forces of heaven and hell in a race to destroy humanity. How might this inversion where evil strives to outdo good in the apocalyptic destruction challenge one's narratives?
Well, the narrative of the album, it's a whole collapsing world little by little, starting with Among Misery, where we are looking at it. It's like being a dystopian world and seeing that everything is going from bad to worse. Then you have this huge natural disaster, and after the natural disaster, you have very sequences of things going down until humanity, instead of trying to save themselves and help each other, they start to separating even more, and then God gets mad. And when he gets mad, he starts destroying people, killing everybody, bringing the wrath of God, which is part of the apocalypse, in fact. And then it starts the war between good and evil. I, Sean Horror, come from hell to win against God, destroying all humanity with the power resources that humanity created for themselves to destroy themselves. So I just came to use what humanity did to themselves.
How did you come up with that storyline? And was it written out like in a narrative fictional kind of thing first before you did it? Or how did that, because that's pretty in depth.
Well, the thing is that when I launched our first album, Insane Circus, I am really sick with a degenerative disease. And through me, I think I lived the apocalypse. I've been deaf 2 times. I've been in very, very bad situations. And I see how the world is going on,
Right.
with all the new leaders, all the things that are going here and there, Gaza, or I don't
Every
know. There's
day.
so many
Right.
examples. Ukraine, every kind of example that you can put in the world, it's like we are going deep in shit, and I don't know why if there has to be like a massive reckoning for human against humankind, it should be now because this is the moment that we are more prepared to die everybody because the world is overpopulated, people are killing each other for nothing, religions are being from they're getting really fanatics. You're seeing people from all over the world, every kind of culture, and they are attacking each other only because they are different from others. And
Yeah.
they're forgetting one thing, that we are humans. And that's the problem. And I'm pointing that out. And that's the way I created this narrative. And the narrative in the album is song by song. If you hear song by song, you're not going to feel the whole history of the album, but the story of the album, you're going to see it in the when you hear the whole picture.
Right.
And when you hear the first song, the first title, that is the intro, breaking news, is the let's say it's something that summarized the whole album.
Right. Okay. How do you think, or in what ways can embodying such extreme characters like in Sean Horror in this storyline help listeners confront or process real world fears about power, destruction, and human depravity?
Well, giving the power to something that comes from hell, because in the first album I die, and I don't know, I made myself this hell general who is coming because Satan told him, "Hey, you were a human, go destroy that shit." Okay, I'm coming there. I come here. I'm putting a gun into the head of a world leader and telling him, press the red button of the destruction of humankind. Launch all the fucking warfare you have. And empowering that, I think it's something that it's better than trying to point fingers and say, well, it's Trump, it's Putin, it's this or this guy, because I don't want to get political. I don't want
Right.
to get I don't want to get people thinking that I am from right wing, left wing, or whatever wing. I'm not in
Right.
anything. I'm just an objectivistic guy who doesn't believe in politics because I think everybody is like shit, in fact.
Right.
So I think it's easier to create a character who's strong enough and who's scary enough to do that kind of stuff. And really prefer presentate that myself because I go on stage. So the people, when they see me on stage, they say that guy is fucking sick.
Right. Is
I,
there a religious or faith based message to this whole thing? Or is that not really? I mean, I know you tread
no,
those kind of prophecy
I,
sort of things,
I,
but
I wanted to trade the prophecy thing, of course, but there's no any religious part in me. I am a big, huge atheist, the slayest slash satanist person. So I don't believe in God nor hell. So I don't believe in Satan or whatever the people could say I think I believe in. I am just by myself. I think in humanity. I believe in that human beings can, in a way, if they work together, start all this process of destruction again without destroying, in fact, constructing and being able to develop something for good. But we
right,
are really far from that because we are not that kind of people. Humanity's been here destroying since day one, since
right,
we get offered the right to think that we were killing people, building guns, building ways of torture people, and it's been all in the history of humanity. When you see that, you say, "Well, fuck, hell, man, we are horrible."
right. Without getting political, because I'm not political either, how do you see the way out of this? Or is it really just a reset button at this point?
This episode is brought to you by San Pellegrino.
A meal isn't just about what's on your plate. It's about what you bring to the table. San Pellegrino believes the table is where the best of life happens. That's what makes gathering around it so rich and rewarding. And with their unique sparkling natural mineral water, San Pellegrino brings its best so you could bring yours.
As I was telling before, if we get all together, that is not gonna happen. We can do something, but it's not gonna happen. So everything is going to go from bad to worse. Things are getting bad. I live in Europe, so I can see what's happening in France.
Oh,
If
yeah.
this French guy gets in the war in Ukraine, it's going to start the World War III. If Putin gets mad and he's losing the war, he's going to jump the gun,
Right.
push the press the fucking buttons, and destroy everything. Because if that guy doesn't win, it's everybody loses.
Right.
That's the way. That's the way. MAD. Massive. How I said in the album. Mutual assured destruction.
Right. So, do you mind staying with this for a second?
Yeah, of course.
In your view or in your thoughts, does this mankind repopulate again, or is that the end final? It's over.
Well, as I put it in the album, I think that we created the new controlling race that it's the AI. So in the song called Artificial Doom, is where the AI decides by itself, in fact, that it will not help. It's not going to kill anybody, and it's not going to save anybody's life. It's just going to stay there waiting until everybody dies, and then they are going to reconstruct the world as they want. And that's the thing. That's the thing that I not believe in exactly precisely, because I don't
Right.
know what the hell is going to power it. But I think that it's a way of saying that after the collapse of humankind, there's not going to be anything in millions of years until something evolves into something like us again.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. Press the button centers on manipulation and in psychological torment rather than direct action to unleash catastrophe. Why do you think that is? Or why did you write it that way?
I wrote it that way because I thought it was fun to put the character of Sean Horror trying to imprison them in the mind of somebody who has power. Like, imagine yourself, somebody's torturing Trump psychologically to press a button, or Putin, or whatever, or whoever you want to think about.
Right.
And I think it's more interesting than just making the action by himself, because he is evil, pure evil. And pure evil is not going to do the things by himself. He want to laugh while doing it, and he's having fun at it. And the fun in it, it's like seeing how someone is trying to save his own skin by destroying the whole humanity. But either way, it's a 50-50 chance, because the guy knows he's going to die, but he's going to try to maybe press the button and see if he's spared or not.
Right.
I'm not going to spare him.
Okay. How did Andy LaRocque get involved with this? I mean, that's a legend, right?
Well, Andy LaRocque is a fucking great legend, of course. He's an amazing guy. But yeah, I was speaking to him today. The Andy LaRocque get involved into Dark Flow when we released Insane Circus, because he mixed and mastered Insane Circus, and then talking to him, it was like, hey man, would you like rather to produce our next album? Because I think I have an idea. I pitched him a little bit the idea. He told me, holy shit, man, it's a really freaking out idea, Even King Diamond doesn't have these kind of things, and we started
Right.
speaking. It was like, yeah, well, there's also these symphonic elements, and there's so much power in these things, and I like your music. He came to Switzerland to work with us.
Oh, really?
Composing the songs. He came to my house, yes.
Wow.
And we were composing together, and then we went to Sweden to record. Everybody recorded there, everything, and then we.
Was it intimidating?
Well, as a huge King Diamond fan in the beginning,
Right.
of course, it was intimidating, because I am the biggest King Diamond fan you will ever meet in your life. And that's why I have the makeup and all the shit, that I'm just an offspring, let's say. I like horror music, I like horror movies, so of course King Diamond it has all my assets. And yeah, it was intimidating at the beginning when I met him for the first time when I went to Sweden. But then it just became a guy, it's just a guy who goes on stage. He plays really fucking well the guitar, and he's just an amazing guitar player who composes with King Diamond. And King
Right.
Diamond is also a human man.
Right.
Now that I met Andy LaRock, who is like the biggest star that I've ever met in my life, it was like easier for me to confront stars, then because as you, I was a journalist and I interviewed the singer of Blue Oyster Cult. I interviewed Jerry Cantrell. I interviewed many, many rock stars, the guy from Scorpions, a lot of guys,
Right.
and talking to people is just it's talking to people. You're talking to
Yeah.
me. I don't want to ever be like a legend and people to be intimidated by me. I wouldn't be that kind of people either. I wouldn't feel the same for anybody as well, because I
Sure,
think
I
that
get that.
it's unfair because why you who wants to be intimidating to anyone? It's
Right.
like
Yeah.
it's like being a fucking asshole. Maybe some guys like that. I don't know, but I
Oh, I'm
won't
sure they
like it.
do, but yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know how anybody does that. When you're writing your music, are you thinking about the stage? Because you're very theatrical, are you thinking like this is going to be a good place for whatever fireworks, lighting, mood lighting, or something? Or are you just writing the songs and then adapt later?
Both. Sometimes I'm writing and say, okay, well, in the stage I will need this, and that, or maybe I have to put this kind of thing. That's why I created my stage costume before creating the character in the album, because I
Oh, okay.
needed to feel how my character was going to be in power. And that's all about the dress up. A general can be dressed in many ways. And the general from Hell, all in white with inverted crosses, with a huge big cape and stuff. It's something that was created before, so I can feel that um, rare energy
Right.
to write these songs.
From those
And
point of view.
from those point of view, exactly. Then there's a lot of songs that I start writing and didn't thought about it before when we were just rehearsing. I said to myself, well, there we can do this and that, and yeah, put more theatrics. Of course, we need much more resources to make the show that I would
Right.
love to do. But as you said before, you never heard from us before, and now you're hearing a little bit from us,
Right.
getting little by little there, trying to get the resources that we need to make good shows, good concerts, and tour everywhere and be here and there and make people understand what we're doing. That is theatrical metal.
Right. You just mentioned that it was going to be a later question, but are you planning on taking this out on the road, or is that not a thing yet?
Well, the thing is that I am well, if you can say I'm on bed because I'm recovering from
Right.
surgery, hip
Oh, okay.
surgery. I changed both hips, so I
Oh
can't
shit.
do concerts until November, I think.
Right.
So I am not hitting the road until I know that I'm really fine to go on stage. Because when I go through stage, I give my 150% with my
Sure.
body, and I don't want to destroy nothing here.
So are you still writing then in this time frame?
Now I'm actually writing new songs. Yes, I'm writing new songs, and with Flo, the guitar player of Dark Flow, the main guitar player and the founder of the band, because we founded together. We're going to meet this Thursday to talk about the new songs that we want to do and what style we want to do, because we like to change from one style to another, from one work to another. So there's not like a repetitive things. It's not
Do
like,
you
oh
worry
yeah,
about your
well this
fans
song.
then? If you're changing like that, do you worry about your fans not staying for the journey?
I think that each song in Imminent End is really different. So that's the why I think, as in Insane Circuits, as in the EP6. So I think the fans may like some songs and may don't like some others. So some songs are more hard rock, as I told you
Right.
before. Some songs are more really powerful thrash metal.
Right.
So I like to play with that because it creates a whole universe. But the main theme is the theatrical part with let's say it's in the big picture, it's really progressive as music. In the big picture, when you see the whole album, it's really progressive because not any song is like the other one.
Right.
Everything is changing, everything is evolving, everything is having its moments. It's That's what makes us a really different band from other bands that do all times the same shit. I'm
Right.
sorry for saying names from this, but I will have to accuse this. But when you hear Corn, you understand which song is from Corn. Why? Because it's Corn.
Right.
You 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 hear them and you say, okay, well, that's Korn. It's not because you understand the voice of Jonathan Davis or whatever. It's because you understand the style.
Right.
And I believe that it's better to be different, not completely like different. I will not go to do now, I don't know, something like really poppy. I
Right.
am going to do something more trashy, maybe, or with more melodic heavy metal. I don't know, something like that. But I'm not going to cross over a line where people will not recognize the music at itself as dark flow. So yeah, the fans are going to stay for a while there. I think it's not going to change their mind. It's going to just say, "Oh, okay, Dark Flow just launched a new shit, and I want to see what it is.
Right.
It's different."
Is Sean Horror going to be in the next release as well? Is he figuring into this process?
Sean Horror as a character, I'm trying to see exactly how I'm going to put it inside because, well, as I created in the first album, Insane Circus, I am the main character. In this
Right.
second album, I'm not the main character, but I am the most important character who destroys the world. Now I have to see how I'm going to adapt that character into our songs. Because yeah, I became without wanting. It wasn't thought before, but I became a little bit like the Eddie from Iron Maiden of my band.
Right.
So I had to follow through that. And as I am the guy who does the theater in the band, I am the master of ceremony of the dark flow. That's the thing.
Do you think that I mean, what is Sean going to find in the next
I
record?
think I I think I'm gonna go through a more introverted more no, not introverted. I'm going to speak about what I'm feeling and what I'm thinking more than what I'm looking at or what I am experiencing. Like I don't know, there's something that I will not going to go through a whole story again, maybe. Maybe I'm going to do really song by song, really different
Right.
ideas. Not a conceptual album. We have three conceptual things. One EP is conceptual, the other album is conceptual, and this album is conceptual too. Imminent
Right.
End is a really conceptual album. And even if you don't hear the lyrics, you won't understand that it's conceptual, but it's a really conceptual album. Little by little, you're going to see that the story develops. And the next album, I have to see. I'm still in the creative process, so I have to see how I want to do it and how it's gonna be done.
When you're writing these things, are you writing, and I may have asked this already, but I don't know if it was clarified. Do you write like the story or the lyrics, the story as you go? Does that make sense? Do you write this like a short story and then you know where Sean Horror is going or where this is going?
Well, the thing is that when in the writing process, what I do is that I write a storyline for a song.
Right.
I
Okay.
give it to Flo. He does his magic with music. We discuss these details here, this detail there, and then I write the whole lyrics of the song again. First, we go with the storyline of the song, so we have
Right.
the
So like a little short
ambience.
story.
Exactly. So we know what we're talking about and how visually I want to express it as musically. Musically, visually, I don't know how to explain it, but it's like when you hear the music, you hear the ocean, feel the sirens, you feel the impact that it gives. So yeah, things like that. I like to do it that way.
Okay.
For me, it's easier to explain to my guitar player and composer
Right.
how I would rather hear this so I can put the voices in and then I write the lyrics with the whole voices and all the stuff.
Okay. If fans want to find you, can you give us your socials or any of that stuff?
Well, Dark Flow Shock Metal on Instagram if you want to find us there. Dark Flow on official on Facebook. You can find us also as Dark Flow on Blue Sky. You can find me as Shan Horror on Blue Sky, also Shan Horror Official on Instagram, and Shan Horror on Facebook. And something that I really want to say always is that you can also go to our website, darkflow.ch, and you can write me. You can write emails to Darkflow, and I will always answer. There will no be AI answering. There won't be nobody else than me answering. I am the one who likes to talk with the people because I'm a people's man. I
Right.
like people. I like to talk with people. I like to share with people. And I think that it's interesting to share stories, experiences, and to also have some feedback because I think everybody can say, well, your music, I think it has this and that, but I think it lacks from this and that. And it's okay, well, I'm going to put it maybe in my mind. Maybe that
Right.
thing is going to stay in my head or not. But it's things like that, you evolve in this world and it's better to evolve with people. That's why I'm always telling you, if everybody works together, we can save the world. But it's not going to happen. But at least I'm doing a little bit.
There you
That's
go.
why I did this prophecy.
I'm going to cut it there.
Thank you very much. It was a really nice
Thank you for your
moment talking
time.
with you.
Yeah, I hope that wasn't too bad.
No, 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 it was very fine, man. It's amazing. I love talking with people.
Yeah, I just like to talk, so good enough. Be well. Cheers.
Stay
Get well
metal.
soon.
Thank you very much, man.
Yeah. All right, bye.
Bye bye.